Predictions for Major 5? Yeah, those didn't go so good. What's going on, guys? J-Hoy back with you today, and welcome back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. We are here on Embassy playing some hardpoint in ranked play, of course, and we actually have a pretty good game for you in the background. As today, yes, the predictions for Major 5 did not exactly go how we anticipated them to go by any means. So here we are with the recap of the event, and of course let's start with them. Where are they? OpTic, Texas. Do we want to talk about OpTic, Texas? Look at the bracket. They got 3-0'd by Florida, and yeah, I don't even think they showed up to the event at that point, because how are you going 10-0 in the last two qualifiers and then show up to LAN predicted to win the tournament and then don't even win a map? Well, OpTic lost. Let's move on to our next matchup. The Boston Breach versus the Minnesota Rocker. We said all along that this match could go either way, back and forth. Both teams at the bottom. You know, they're definitely not one of the teams I would have predicted to win the event. But could get, I mean, like, I would say they're a top 8 team, which they both are. But Minnesota Rocker does win this one in the game 5. They move on to the second round. Atlanta FaZe versus Vegas Legion. No surprise here, although I'm kind of surprised Vegas didn't put up more of a fight there. But FaZe wins 3-0. Toronto Ultra versus Subliners. We called this one, I believe, game 5. Toronto does walk away with the victory. They move on. The Florida Mutineers versus Minnesota Rocker stay in the winner's bracket. Minnesota Rocker 3-0. Then we have FaZe versus Toronto, 3-1 matchup. Obviously, two of our best teams in the game. So, great matchup there. FaZe moves on. Rocker move on. That's your winners finals. Down the elimination bracket, though, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Now, you know, obviously we were very confident with OpTic beating Florida. And then we had them versus, or we would have had, you know, LA Thieves down here already versus Florida. We would have predicted LA Thieves to win. Well, we got half of that right. LA Thieves won, but since OpTic lost, of course they play OpTic, and Thieves have had OpTic's number. And that's the one team I didn't want to face in this entire tournament, was the LA Thieves. I wanted to avoid them at all costs. Because they just, like I said, they have not had luck versus them. And it showed. So OpTic, again, gets 3-0'd. They don't win a single map. They get knocked out top 12. And they are locked in, I believe, at the second seed, if I remember correctly. Either second or third. I think it's second. Second seed for OpTic going into champs, which will be another video with predictions, with power rankings, with all that good stuff. That'll be 2 separate videos, actually. But OpTic does lose. Like I said, LA Thieves do win 3-0. They move on. Boston Breach gets double first rounded along with OpTic. Royal Ravens win 3-1, like I said, against Boston. So that's kind of surprising. Vegas beats the Seattle Surge 3-0, which is kind of surprising for Seattle. And then no surprise here. New York Subliners 3-0 LA Gorillas. They got, like I said, yeah, no surprise there. Sticking with round 2 in the elimination bracket, LA Thieves versus London Royal Ravens. Thieves win that 3-0. Obviously, you know, answer there. Then we have the New York Subliners versus the Vegas Legion. And, you know, no matter what team was down there, we kind of would have predicted either New York or Toronto. And I think we actually ended up picking the upset with Vegas. And I think it was, if Vegas wins to top 4, I think they would have made it into champs. However, that's not the case. They don't make it to champs, and now their season's over. So, hey, good try. Honestly, that team wasn't bad. If they had a full season with their end of the year roster, I feel like they would have been more than fine. I feel like they would have definitely been a consistent top 8 team. Like, they had the talent, right? Clayster, Temp, Standy, and TJ Haley. I mean, it's still a pretty solid squad there. But the New York Subliners do win that one 3-0, moving them on. And then we're going to catch up. We can still do round 3. We have Toronto Ultra versus LA Thieves. Toronto Ultra 3-0 beating the Thieves. Then we have New York Subliners winning against the Florida Mutineers 3-0 again. And into our round 4 in the elimination bracket, we have the Toronto Ultra New York Subliners. A rematch of round 1. The New York Subliners win again. So yes, you are hearing this correct. So far, the Subliners, after losing in round 1 of the winners bracket, they are now in top 4. But we gotta catch up though. Atlanta FaZe versus Minnesota Rocker in our winners bracket final. FaZe 3-0. No real surprise there given that matchup. But FaZe does find himself in another grand finals. Going top 4 though. New York Subliners versus Toronto Ultra. New York Subliners win again 3-2, knocking Ultra out. They then face off against the Minnesota Rocker, 3-0ing them. Minnesota Rocker now out. Subliners from all the way from winners bracket round 1, losing, going down to losers bracket round 1, and then 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, game 5, and then another 3-0 leads them back to the grand finals versus FaZe. And for, I believe, the first time all year, for the best of 7, they made it all the way to game 7. But who's going to walk away with the winner? It's going to be our Major 1 champs, the New York Subliners. End up walking away in the game 7. A great matchup. It was really fun to watch, actually. I did tune in for the finals, at least the last couple games at least. But once OpTic was out, yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't want to watch this one anymore. That's for sure. But, you know, it was a very interesting event, given that OpTic was out of the tournament almost immediately. LA Thieves didn't make it as far as we expected. Obviously, FaZe, New York, Toronto all did. But for the most part, all the teams, with the exception of OpTic, made it relatively far. But still, a little bit disappointing for the Green Wall. We're heading into Champs time with how good they've been. Not that they needed to win that event, but it definitely would have been a big confidence boost for them. You know, maybe they're trying to avoid the curse. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that wasn't the best showing for them. But we do take a look at our final placements for the event. New York Subliners get first place, $200,000 to them. Atlanta FaZe in second with $120,000. Minnesota Rocker in third with $80,000. Toronto Ultra in fourth with $40,000. LA Thieves and Florida Mutineers in fifth, sixth with $20,000. The Vegas Legion and the London Royal Ravens, 7th, 8th at $10,000. And then 9th through 12th, Seattle Surge, OpTic Texas, LA Gorillas, and the Boston Breach. Like I said, 9th through 12th, 0 prize money. So very disappointing showing from OpTic. Like I said, the champs right around the corner. This is not the time to get, you know, 06 swept out the building and, you know, just not perform. Like, we definitely needed a lot better from that, especially in this tournament. And like I said, season's over. They were locked into champs anyway, but still, they needed a better performance than that because that was abysmal. But that was our last major of the year. The next few videos will be, not predictions, power rankings before champs starts. We're going to give predictions for champs. And after champs, obviously, we'll have the recap and a few more videos. And then, of course, we'll be gearing up towards the next Call of Duty as it is. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below if you haven't yet. Or if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. And don't forget, you can always change your mind later. But all that being said, guys, we'll see you in the next one.